free agent profile. This from Dogs by Nature. Safety Juan Thornhill from Kansas City, 16 games, 1,044 snaps, 71 tackles, 9 passes defended, 4 TFLs, 3 picks, 2 quarterback hits, and a sack. Fit with the Browns. Thornhill's fit with the Browns depends totally on the team's decision with John Johnson III. Jim Schwartz might believe JJ3 is as good as we saw in Los Angeles, and it was the scheme that was the problem here, and he might want to ride with the veteran. If not, Andrew Berry could save cap space, $9.75 million, by dropping John Johnson and then picking up Thornhill to be the back end of that defense. And that's going to be one of the first decisions that we see made, because it would be a post June 1st designation, which will happen, I believe it's in the middle of March.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to be fascinated again, what they do with free safety, because that's kind of that's certainly a need for the Browns that I think is kind of underrated. And I think what I kind of seen the last couple of seasons, it seems like John Johnson and Grant Delpit, they're kind of like, they're redundant in a lot of ways, that a lot of their strengths are very similar, that they can play deep if they need to, but their strengths are playing, downhill, closer to the line of scrimmage, like you were talking about earlier, is, maybe more opportunities for Delpit this year up in the box, up towards the line of scrimmage. And in that case, if you're going to do that and put Grant Delpit in those positions, you need a guy who's going to be really comfortable, being that last line of defense, in the secondary, that center field type safety, if you will. And I think Juan Thornhill certainly has all those, attributes to kind of fill that role. I still even remember, way back in 2019 when he got drafted, he was a favorite on Brown's Twitter. A lot of people liked him, and the talent he had. I mean, he absolutely popped at the combine, tremendous athletic metrics with Juan Thornhill. Maybe didn't get as much, opportunity in Kansas City because of, they had the Honey Badger for a few years, and just trying to continue to add free agent safeties in that group. So maybe Thornhill could be an interesting option, like a less expensive option than John Johnson is. And I think he can certainly complement what Grant Delpit does a little more. And at the end of the day, you want to have players who can cover up for each other in that secondary. If you got a guy who's good at playing downhill, you want to have a guy who's good at taking care, cleaning things up deep, and making sure that he doesn't get beat deep, and that the defense doesn't have those miscommunications that we saw just so many times throughout last season, particularly in the loss against the Jets.